You got me
Go.
feeling like a certain way. Okay.
Ooh, in a good way or what?
Yeah. Okay. So this is where we start.
Yes,
All
I'm
right. This is the
grateful
beginning. I'm
for
grateful. I'm grateful that we're at I'm
episode
grateful
26.
that we're up. Is it episode 26?
Uh-huh.
I'm grateful that we're finally in here. I'm grateful that we've actually made it to all these episodes. I'm grateful that it's getting warmer out every day. And more than ever, I'm grateful that I'm ready to slay May.
Wow, I'm grateful for all that stuff. And I'm grateful you guys are here for an episode of Plantspiration Unplugged. We're John and Stefanie John, founders of Plantspiration. We started that nonprofit to help people go plant-based, to crush their chronic disease and get better health, better for the animals and the planet and everybody.
We're saving lives. Let's just get right down to it. And it started with ours. People know us for losing 250 pounds as a family, reversing a slew of our own chronic diseases. And we were like, this is ridiculous that everybody doesn't know this. We were bent.
Yeah.
So that's why we're here today. Starting Plantspiration, a global nonprofit around the world where we're teaching people how to get healthy too. And man, I'm so pumped up.
Are you
I'm
jacked
so
for
pumped
May?
up. I am, because when I see you getting excited already about the health report,
Oh, yeah.
like there's a pep in your step. Like there's that dopamine that comes in and says, well, this is working. This is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You know, what's
I love that, the dopamine. That's where it's at.
as soon as speaking of dopamine, you couldn't even write out what time it is. Look at that. What
Yeah,
is that?
it's right now. It's that exact time. So,
What a week. There again, I did it with like, we could talk about this, we could talk about that, we could talk about this. But we're just going to start off with like, how's everybody doing?
right?
Like, notice how life never stops.
Oh no, no, well, no. I mean,
It's
until it does,
it,
there's a lot of life going on, and it's awesome.
I can't believe that's how you act over everything.
What?
That's not, I like the car broke down again.
Oh, I
Like-
even forgot about that already. Man, I got teeth falling out.
It's been a week.
My gosh, I started off with, you know what? I'm gonna get a haircut this week. I'm gonna go to the dentist for a cleaning.
Oh, this week.
And wow. And on top of it, I mean, you know, what's going on besides work and work. I mean, I love it. I love it. But really what it was, you know, getting painting estimates. It was like all these appointments, you know, man, I got to run home. I got a painter coming, you know, to give an estimate.
In the middle of
to
all
do
this.
painting. Yeah. And then, you know, we got other painting estimates, and then a painting buddy, and, you know, he's like looking at this wall and it's like, that looks like it got wet, you know, and well, like when we had our roof done a couple of years ago, I was like, oh, wow. You know, I didn't even
can't
really
believe
notice,
what-
like up in the corner, but
We just wanted to fix the place up. Now it's turning into
yeah,
a
now
whole
it's turning
like,
into
what?
maybe an insurance claim. I got to get
I don't know what.
Now it was wet. Am I getting it tested for mold? What's going on? Holy cow, man. It's just crazy.
I can't. I don't think that we.
Appointments galore, if I could say. Did you know the word galore comes from the Irish Gaelic? Like go leor, which means enough or plenty, you know, you got it. So,
I'm speechless, actually.
appointments galore. Anyways, it
Appointments
was crazy.
galore is how it
But the
went.
big thing, I was like,
Same.
leaving for work in the morning, got my lunch, got everything ready, and then it was like appointments back and forth, this, that. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna grab all the fruit out of my lunch. So I had stuff in the car. I mean, I'm only 10 minutes away, but geez.
Like you planned.
I did.
You knew. I mean, we didn't know this in the beginning.
No.
You know, we didn't know what we were doing, but look at how, as time goes, this is kind of what I tell everybody. It gets easier. Like you've been practicing life.
Yeah.
We've been practicing life. I mean, and I know that there's a lot more practice to go. Like it's not like, you know, there's ever an end
There's-
to the
yeah,
learning
I
and the
don't think-
practicing, but
Yeah, I don't think there's a perfection to it. You just always, like doctors are practicing.
I
right?
didn't
They're
think-
practice. Are
True.
they ever?
I
you
didn't
know?
think that this was ever going to be a part of my life, just this mentality or this outlook. There was a time when I couldn't even get off the couch. I was too tired about everything. I was overwhelmed. I was stuck. I was in this cycle of dieting. Every Monday it would be, I'll start again on Monday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. After that last, whatever it was on
I'll
Saturday
start on
or
Monday.
Sunday. Oh, I'm starting my diet on Monday. I mean, everybody knows that.
We're still undoing that
But you
over
feel
here.
good about it the moment you say, I'm going to start on Monday. You get like, ooh, yeah.
That's what it is. There's
Is
a
that
little bit of a
dopamine?
dopamine.
Is that what it is?
You
Yeah.
get a little dopamine hit, even when you say I'm starting on Monday or I'm going to join the gym or you join the gym. Like there's people who join and then don't show up.
Wow.
So,
Well, you're really trying to ride that that one out. You got, well, I signed up.
well, and then what happens is life comes at you by 12:45 on Monday afternoon, and that's when you give up. You're like, you know what? Now's not the right time.
Yeah.
I got too much going on. I got an event next week. I got to go out to lunch with my friend. I've got all this big time stuff going on. So, you know what? This sets the hook right there that I'll just wait till Monday.
That's for sure.
And doesn't everybody do? I know everybody does it for everything. We all tend to do that. I mean, but there's then there's the action phase, which is over here. And did I mention we're slaying it?
Yeah, we are. We
Look
are
at how
slaying
you
it.
just went through the whole week.
Yeah, wow.
We didn't have a class last week, and we did say about a million times. I was like, wow, the timing
Oh,
of
yeah.
everything, the timing of everything.
Yeah, that was crazy.
We had so much going on, but we're unstoppable. That's how I felt, like just unstoppable. And that's the psychology behind, just kind of everything what we're doing. We're
This is like on the certificate, like the what was your last certification or class?
Certified in neuroscience coaching.
Wow, this
Well-
is like everything.
Well, everybody knows about plants, so I was like,
Right.
well, let me bring in something maybe we don't,
Well, because it's not just like
It's not
the
just-
food and the plants and in the kitchen; it's in your head.
a lot of it.
Nice job getting that.
Well, thank you. Like most things that I do, I start it, I kind of get a feel for what's going on, and then I reverse engineer and I'm like, well, how did that work? Like, how did Plantspiration just work out so awesome that this is going the way it is? And what it turned out was everything we're doing is kind of, well, it is aligned with growing the hippocampus, not, you know what it is? It's upgrading the operating system.
Nice.
Like we're teaching people how to upgrade the operating system, and we get so used to the one we have. It's scary to, get out of that and change the habits that we've been into for so long. And it isn't just the food habits, it's the way we talk about stuff. I don't know if I could do this, or, am I going to be able to get this done? I've got an appointment that I'll never be able to stay on track. See that whole mentality right there, the way we would have talked to ourselves before. I said, even to you this morning, if we would have had a week like this 12 years ago,
Oh man.
it would have been, we're going to have to order out.
Yeah, and I'm gonna need like take some time off work. Jeez.
Yeah, you would have done something like that. And I would have been exhausted. Like, well, I'm going to be in bed and I'll be watching 75 more documentaries about what I'm not doing in life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Looking for that dopamine hit.
am I explaining that kind of what it was like?
It's like you're looking for that. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing the work, by researching and looking and
Yeah.
it's not
I
really
think-
doing the work though.
Here's something really deep. Hold on, just as you were talking, I might have zoned out, because I wonder if all the negative stuff we had going on, all the surgeries, all the doctor's appointments, those were kind of like my dopamine hit back then, like getting out and complaining. I was thinking that this was my highlight.
That was your life.
That was my
That was
life.
exciting. Ooh, I'm getting out. I'm getting ready. I'm gonna go out to the doctor. I'm gonna.
And then I would just come home and complain about it.
Yeah.
And now I've learned that that shrinks your brain, that shrinks your hippocampus.
Hippocampus.
I know.
It's like where the hippos go to college.
I talked about we talked a little bit about this week. This week I coached a little bit about, I went right into it and talked about complaining and how it shrinks the hippocampus, and complaining stops us from from getting stuff done and making decisions and having confidence, and talked a little bit about that.
Makes
Kinda
sense
cold.
because I was like, hey, well, throw the heater on there. I was like, do I even have one left? I used to complain constantly.
You were a big complainer, if I may be honest. Like, you were a big complainer. I mean, I complained about everything. I complained about how miserable I was. My body was in bad shape. I complained every day about my weight.
Yeah, well, it's like you wake up and you do the scan of your body. Oh, man, my knee hurts, oh, my back, all this and that. Oh, yeah, I'm missing a tooth now.
Life stuff. This is tough stuff we dealt with this
Yeah,
week.
what are you going to do? I'll
But-
see the dental person next week.
There's,
Oral surgeon, sorry.
it's the way that we move through it nowadays. I can kind of see that there's been such a shift in that unstoppable psychology of I stopped asking like if we could even do this
Yeah,
to
right.
we're just doing it.
I never even think about not being able to do it.
And
Like,
even doing this,
oh yeah,
like this, like John, we've just went 6 months of a podcast.
yeah, 26 weeks, folks. Yeah. Wait, hold on. I don't have to do that.
26 weeks,
No,
6 months of a podcast. We've gotten over 26,000 followers, 427,000 views on YouTube. We don't know about any of these downloads on Spotify or Apple, but
This is great.
we are so grateful for everybody who continues to tune in and to get inspired by what we're doing. I mean, this is us unplugged, talking about what it's like to get through our week, what we're doing. We're
Totally.
did not used to think like this before, did not used to live like this before.
I know. Now we're like, we don't have guns, but we're shooting this shit.
Okay. Wow. This is what I mean. So I already forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
We were talking about just kind of how we kept on going through stuff and doing the podcast. And a lot of people were telling us we should do a podcast. Mm-hmm. The last person who said it, do you know who it was? When I was like, all right, that's it. We're doing it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do. I think, who was it? Was it Pammy?
Yeah. She was like, you guys should do a podcast. I was like, I was like that.
Yeah.
So then I wanted to just show her like, okay, we're just going to do this.
All right, we're doing it.
We're just going to do it. So I was telling her this morning, I was
That's
like,
great.
it's gotten big. Like it actually.
Yeah, I know you were telling her this morning. I'm like trying to sleep. I feel the bed shaking. And I'm waking up. I'm like, she's giggling. She laughs. She's on the phone or texting or whatever.
Talking to Pammy.
With your bestie. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking to Pammy. You know, and it, geez, we were laughing. It was good stuff. But you know, we talk often about that whole, let's start on Monday, or let's wait for this, or let's wait for that, you know, and she's just like everybody else. You get that habit, you know, and everybody wants to blame themselves and think like there's something wrong with them and they're failing and it doesn't work anymore. And some of that complaining that we just in general just do about life.
Yep.
It kind of makes it harder to move forward and make a plan and, you know, tell everybody it is not just the food. There's more to it than that. But yeah, she's been busy. I haven't had a chance to really talk to her.
Yeah.
She's been hitting the road. They've been hitting the road.
Yeah. Geez.
They've been doing cool stuff. But we did
Is she over here now? They're traveling with the show?
She's here now. I feel really bad that we didn't get a chance to see her, but things have been hectic.
A little bit.
They're, you know, but if you want to shoot over and see her, just let me know. I think we got a couple days before she goes back. What a story that was. That's been a long time we've been friends. She's kind of watched all of this grow. That's why I'm so, you know, just excited to share everything with her. She was there from day one when
How did you share how you met?
she was like, I got this message in Instagram. Yeah, you guys are probably going to love this story. I was just starting out. The kids were like, hey, you should go on Instagram. You should, you know, do this, do that. And then, you know, I was out there and sharing my story. And somebody messaged me and she said, hello from India. And I was like, what? I was like, John, look at this. Somebody messaged me all the way from India. Like, I have reached everywhere.
That's awesome.
Everywhere. And then, you know, she mentioned that she was from the States. And I was like, oh, cool. So we just kept talking. You know what I mean? I was interested in, you know, what life was like for her. And she was asking me questions about my life and plant life and this stuff. Next thing you know, it's like we're just pen pal. We just kept, just me.
Well, then it's like you got off of that. Now you're like WhatsApp going back and forth.
Well, that just started because, it was just so much. We were like, let's connect immediately. So we started texting on there. And when I saw her picture, I was like I'm talking months into us.
Yeah.
Like now I already was like, I have a best friend. Like this
like,
lady's.
You show the picture. I'm like, whoa. Look at her.
I know. I know. Doesn't she kind of look like a movie star?
Yeah. I'm like, totally.
She looks just like a movie star. And then for another 6 months, I just was like, do.
Just chatting.
You know, and she would say all these things. And I was like, she's really being funny.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if she knows this story.
I don't know, but it was funny because you're like telling me about it. You're like, yeah, she's like just going along and like, excuse me, I was just talking to my driver, and you're like, okay,
I was
so
like,
she's in an Uber.
Yeah, she's in an Uber. She's talking to somebody, or she would make these references that I thought were
Well, watching you with the plant, she's like, oh, I'll have to tell my chef to make that.
I'm thinking she's talking to her kids. Like,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
just going to tell her chef. And I'm like, yeah, haha. So the whole time it's always going over my head. I'm not picking up on any of it. I'm just so excited to, have this friend. We're sharing all this information. We're laughing, and turns out she's actually she's anyway.
Yeah, she's in the crushing
The
it
Bollywood,
in
you know what I
Bollywood.
mean?
That's it.
They're out there doing their stuff, and it's really cool, actually.
She's like, oh, darling, I'm behind the camera. That's my
That's
husband.
what she said. I was like, oh my gosh.
That is awesome.
But anyway, we're still talking on.
I was like, yeah, you better tell your chef to cook without
That's
oil,
what I
man.
mean. I want to like, come on, man. So
yeah, that's awesome,
anyway,
though.
she came here to visit, and
Yeah, we drove down. We had a good connection in
drove out to
Texas. That
Yes.
was awesome.
and again, there it is, road tripping.
Yeah.
We have a class coming up, by the way, on traveling whole food plant-based.
Oh, no problem.
We've done it from
Yeah.
New York to Houston to planing it,
Yep.
biking it, bike trails.
Planes and automobiles, no trains. I didn't do trains.
We do. What do you mean?
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Oh, well, we'll take a train out of the city.
Well, sure. I'm still bringing my fruit no matter what I'm in.
Yeah. But anyway, no matter where everybody's at, no matter where they're coming from, it's what I've learned is it's relatable for everybody making these changes. It's not just about the food. And everybody wants to get healthy. Everybody wants to feel better. And then it's like we hear, is this too hot for you?
A little bit.
I
It's
could already
warm in
tell.
here.
You're like breaking
like,
sweat.
Yeah,
like
I'm good.
being cold.
No, I'm good.
I thought I could do without a sweatshirt today because
Yeah.
it's like May. It's May.
What do you got? Yeah, I love your shirt, your little outfit here.
Thank you.
Leonard Skinner.
Leonard Skinner, bring it.
Do you even know any of their songs?
Yeah,
Besides Freebird? Everybody knows Freebird.
that's Simple Man.
Okay.
That's the other one.
Sweet Home Alabama.
Is that another one?
I
knew it. Well, maybe I'll work on
Anyways.
that part of my brain, the music. But anyway, just no matter where everybody's at, no matter where they're going in life, no matter where they're living, this is the nonstop of everybody wants to get healthy. And then I've learned that it's really just the habits that's stopping it. Everybody knows about the plants. You know what I mean? They're well versed. Then you go to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "Nope, you can't have soy.
You need to eat eggs, man. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
you can't have soy. You can't. You should be eating protein and eggs and lean chicken. And I mean, this is that whole confusion of that matrix we were talking about last week.
Yeah, right. You need a burger.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's why we're out here doing what we're doing. And we're not just talking about it, we're living it, we're doing it, which leads me to the next thing. We did get our tickets for ICNM this week, too.
Yeah.
International Conference of Nutrition and Medicine. It's the world's biggest nutrition conference, and Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine is the one that puts all that together. So I'm excited to go back and see everybody. We do this every year, and it's the latest in nutrition information, education, preventing and reversing disease.
All the people that actually do the studies are showing up with the results.
We're hearing the studies.
You can really talk to them and ask questions.
Grieger, Ornish. I saw Dr. Christy Funk is going to be there. I think
cool.
Dr. Alan Desmond. I could
he's
pull
cool.
up the list here if you want to
cool.
hold a conversation.
But it's a good time. There's a lot more to learn, and it always comes
Excited.
back to batch cook your potatoes, eat your fruits and veggies, and cut
That's
the crap.
but everybody's so obsessed over the recipes.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest things that hold them back.
Yeah. Well, it's easier to cook with the car keys. Just go in the drive-through.
Well, like I said, this is what started me thinking on this topic. Like, why were we so good with eating the same 3 dead animals all week long? Not one single, and everybody usually.
Yeah, and you threw it together with this or with that. It wasn't like, I need a recipe. Holy cow, we're going to starve.
For 40 years, I cooked the same boring way, the same stuff over and over again. But the minute people want to go plant-based, or they think about going plant-based, it's all about the recipes. Like what? Well, I know what the cause of this is, but it's like a phenomenon. I always say, like, oh, here we got the phenomenon of I need recipes. And on top of it, like, there's all these programs, there's all these things out here where they're selling these menu plans.
Yeah.
So what is actually making that work?
I don't know.
Well, starting something is a dopamine hit.
Okay.
Feeling the plan that you've got something is a dopamine
yeah.
hit. But why doesn't it work?
It's not sustainable.
You can't, it's not real. Well, they're searching for something else.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're always like looking for something else.
Well,
There's like, oh, that special recipe, or there's that certain superfood. I know it works for them. Why doesn't it work for me? I must need their recipes.
People use recipes as a way to delay taking action.
Wow.
No, so think about that. People use recipes for the most part. Now, I'm not saying, I know somebody's like, I love recipes. I do too.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm not saying that, but it's for people who get stuck and they're not sure how to make this transition, or they get overwhelmed because there is so much information and we just want to weed through it. Like, look, we're doing it. It's potatoes, broccoli. We're going to whoop it up a couple times of the week. But the majority of people who get stuck is because the recipes part is just distracting them from actually doing it.
Yeah.
You make one recipe, it's going to last for a couple meals. You make a pot of rice, it's going to do 10 meals.
Yeah.
You could do 10 meals, but that doesn't do the dopamine hit of making, nobody's like, oh yeah.
Wow, I made a whole freaking container of rice.
If they don't use recipes to delay taking action, and if they just had one more meal plan, then they'll finally commit. Then there's that, like, oh, then I'll do it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, people,
They
they'll
won't.
collect recipes. Oh, wow, I needed to get that recipe. Oh, wow. And it's like a lot of times you don't even end up making the stuff.
You know why? Do you know why? Like, do you know why people
I think
actually...
they got the rush of getting the recipe, but
It's
then it's
not-
like, oh, it's work.
It's not about the food. It's the fear of change.
Yeah.
It's the fear of change. And we were at a point where we were hitting rock bottom.
Yeah.
Like
I was looking for change
we were
in
looking
the couch.
We were. That is really where we were at when we started this. We were down and out. We were definitely because we were so sick. Oh, jeez.
A little late. But.
Cognitive dissonance hits hard. You think you're confused because you don't know what to cook, but you're actually disorientated because we're so used to the foods that have shaped our identity. Look at when we said we were going to do this, immediately I was like, I cannot give up Parmesan cheese and I cannot give up wine. Like immediately my brain went to, again, look at what I can't do.
Well, that's what we always, that we're looking for something to justify us not doing it because it's way more comfortable to just keep doing what we're doing.
That's a big part of it. You get comfortable with not having to do anything different because that's the hardest part. You hear people say over and over again, I'm going to start on Monday because there's a lot going on right now. And there it is right there. Like we had a dentist appointment this week. We had this happening this week. We had all the old us 1000% would have been pulling that off right there.
Oh yeah. It's just so much
Too
stuff.
much going on.
I'm going to just have to get some food or just whatever.
The moment people go plant-based, they suddenly start questioning everything. This is not about the food. It's about the procrastination to actually doing it.
Right.
And then they don't even, and to nobody's fault, we were included.
Oh yeah.
You really don't know how to do this all in one day, and you don't have to do it all in one day. It gets overwhelming. How undoing just the whole diet thing and the things we're used to. Then it gets into the nutrition part where this is the second biggest thing lacking is nutrients in people's lives, which plays a significant role in all of the things I'm talking about.
And that's why it's a huge thing. I mean, if you can do that, once you do that and you get over that and you actually put it into action and feel how good you feel from the plants, just eating plants and not animal, like it gives you more energy to go. It gives you that, okay, wow, holy cow.
You see with everybody when you get to hear Saturday Sport Group, you see the difference of the people who start eating more and overcoming that obstacle. I could talk about this. We never know what direction it's going to go in. We've really learned to do some show notes to get some topics that we know we're going to cover. But this is like, as we're talking, the number one thing that stops people once they know to start taking action. They start taking action, okay, so they're not going to give up, but they're still stuck on this limited calorie. And this just does not, I want everybody to listen to this. This does not work dieting. It doesn't work.
No.
This is not a diet. I mean,
This is
people phrase it as like a plant-based diet. Sure.
Well, that's just a diet is just what you've eaten that day.
Sure. But the
But
biggest,
this is a lifestyle. Really.
it's lifestyle. And so one is getting people to believe in themselves that they can do this. Two, I want to empower them with the right nutrition because all chronic diseases, all these comorbidities, all these things we're seeing are because of nutrient deficiencies.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're not talking protein deficiencies. There's none of that going on over here. But all diet, the standard American diet is lacking nutrient deficiency is what we're saying. That's why people are sick. Okay.
That's
they're not
right.
lacking. They're not getting phytonutrients. They're not getting fiber. They're not getting vitamins, minerals. They're not getting all those things. Okay. Meat, animal, cheese, dairy, eggs. Not only does that stuff promote chronic disease, listen to me, it promotes chronic disease
It does.
and it has zero fiber.
So that you need that fiber to take all the yuck out of your body.
And it's an inflammatory to the body. And people are walking around all day long going, I don't know why I'm so achy, inflammatory, feeling bad. Well, now you're complaining, you're shrinking your hippocampus, you're not getting enough food. What are we supposed to do about it?
Got to eat the right stuff.
You got to join Plantspiration.
Yeah,
That's
you
what you're
better join right now.
But that's what's going on. That's this whole cycle. So, I guess that's why we started this whole thing, and that's why I want to keep talking about
Heck
it. So
yeah.
more people are listening on why is everybody slaying it over here is because we're not just walking the walk, we're talking the talk.
That's right.
And I want people to understand we're coming from the same place. So everybody, we should back it up a little bit because
Shut that heater off there for a little bit.
come on, man.
Get a little.
I need it to be like 90 in here.
It is.
Everybody that came through the house.
Thank you.
Oh, you do a podcast.
Oh yeah. All the
What do you
different
do?
painter dudes and
And the minute, this is also why this subject was so big for us all week, because the minute you say anything plant-based, the first thing people say is, well, I grew up,
well, I'm
I
a meat and
eat-
potato guy.
we are too.
Well, so was I.
Everybody.
I still am. I just make my beans and quinoa and everything taste like how my stuff used to taste.
But there's that psychology of how we talked, what we've learned, and the belief system that we're living in. I'm a meat and potatoes guy.
Immediately, shields up.
And we were too. So that's the whole. We can see it coming. So I'm like, oh yeah, we get it, man.
I'm like, watch this.
Or I'm working out, and I need protein. Is the net, and then there's that, or the sugars from the fruit stuff, or my doctor said stuff. I cannot possibly get in 5 minutes to explain everything that we have to kind of work on and get to, or where I'm going to meet you at and how awesome it is. And the best thing for me to always say is, Google Plantspiration and see what's going on. People are not taught how to prevent and reverse disease, get to the root cause of disease, nourish and
Flourish.
nourish to flourish. And well, the coaching is working, for goodness sakes.
You're doing amazing. Are you kidding me? People are crushing it.
Are they?
Yeah, they are.
What time is it?
Kicking
Is it
butt.
time?
They feel great.
Oh my gosh. We're 30 minutes in. Let's
Oh
just,
my gosh.
I want to hear it because you were already like, doo, 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 doo.
Well, you gotta tell. Well,
Look at how far this has come.
is
Hold on,
this
look at how
week's
far this has come.
Plantspiration Health Report brought to you by.
I just told Larry about this week.
Oh, did
And
you?
he's like, we rotate every day. We have the freshest fruit. He's worked for other places.
Yeah.
He and I'm just grateful for it. They got new stuff coming out. He's always grabbing it out for me. And you know what? He said something really awesome this week to me, and I want to make sure people hear this. So he brings me out. I'm going to grab the broccoli, and it already looks fabulous right there on the shelf because I know they're putting new stuff out every day. And he goes, hold on. He's like, let's just open up the box and get you a fresh one. And I was like, see, there it is. He goes, and I got to be honest with you. I don't just do it for you. He goes, I do it for everybody.
Oh, that's
See what
great.
I mean?
I
I
guess.
love that. Ooh, dopamine. What'd you say?
I'm like, oh, that's great. I guess save the fresh stuff for us, Larry.
No, he always
No, it's
is.
all fresh. It's always fresh. I don't get anything
We just keep going.
sketchy unless you're like, a Sunday evening and you're looking for grapes, dude. Come on.
What?
If you're in the store looking for grapes, like by Sunday evening,
Not at Myers.
no. I don't eat grapes, so
I love grapes
you buy the grapes and I eat
all
them.
the time.
I don't pick them out.
They're
'Cause
always, no,
I've
Myers is
gone
the
through
best.
that. I brought home grapes, and you're like, "What are these?"
Well,
It's
yeah,
like grape
that's,
juice. They're soft. I'm like,
yeah, no,
"Oh, all right." Oh.
I like the grapes. I could eat a whole
So you
bag.
just got to go through the bags and check and find.
I don't need to at Myers. They're perfect.
Okay, I love it.
So
Thank you, Larry.
This Plantspiration Health Report is brought to you by Myers, and even though they don't know it yet, we love them. They fuel us every week.
For sure.
I do a grocery haul every week on YouTube as well that I would love everybody to see. And
Yeah.
in every grocery haul, I'm always talking about how to prevent and reverse disease, lose weight, and feel great. And they're basically the ingredients of what we're eating every week and what I'm using in the classes every week, which are simple, inexpensive, and sustainable.
Yeah, and delicious. It's what we're using.
I don't
in
know
the
if you guys
classes.
know this by now, but if you haven't gotten on eating your plants off, you don't know what you're missing because people are crushing it over here. Last week, it was 1,670 pounds.
Okay.
I have to just explain. 6 months ago, let's start a podcast. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what? This would be a great place to start sharing the progress. You know what I mean? Since we're not doctors, it's not like I'm doing studies and,
Right, right.
logging all this. I mean, I'm logging it in,
Well,
but
we logged what people like since you've been at Plantspiration, and we just been totaling up.
we have been totaling it up for the last 6 months, and let's hear it. We've reversed heart diseases. We've got on record each week. We
Right.
talk about diabetes, hypothyroid, angina, inflammation, eczema, cholesterols, like so many cholesterols.
That's right. So many aches and pains, and medicines were down. Would get people getting off metformin, and we're talking like 3 injections a day of insulin, like for 20 years, and then they're off in a few weeks. It's
For
real.
some
This
people,
is real.
this
Yeah.
is real. Synthroid, thyroid medicine, like you said, insulin, blood pressure, Prilosec. People are crushing it at Plantspiration, and we're super.
right.
You know what we're doing this for? Because we're so proud of seeing people's lives change, preventing and reversing disease and losing weight. And if it isn't happening right now for you, it's going to if you keep showing up like you are. That's how you do it.
For sure.
So let's hear
Let me
it.
tell you, I mean, besides all that stuff, we're talking about sensitive tooth pain going away.
Well, you?
No, a lot of people. I'm talking about people
Oh.
checking in. Post-radiation headaches and eye pain from a brain tumor treatment, much
Wow.
less frequent. More energy, more positive mindset, and more encouraging to their friends. Like, this is amazing. Other peeps are feeling
Wow.
so good, more energy, easier to move with as they lose more weight. They're walking further and faster. And
This
in
is the
total,
stuff I'm like, let's just take it down. Let's just stop here for a minute.
yeah, this is amazing stuff.
I'm getting verklempt because
This is different. And the other lady, her tumor shrinking, and I mean, we're
we're just in here kind of pounding away, going.
Crushing it.
But when I stop and I think about these moments right here, like, look at what is going on and that they're sharing this.
I know. Don't ruin my mascara and make me
They're
all
sharing
touchy.
this because other
this is
people are
amazing.
noticing. People are always like, I want to help my neighbor. I want to help my friend. And I say these crazy things like, you got to do it. You got to
Yeah.
do it for you.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about.
People are showing up,
And
they're
we
doing
want
it.
you out there. One, you're part of it because we know you're Plantspiration. We love you guys.
Yeah, you guys
Two,
rock.
This plants work for everyone. Mm-hmm. Plants work for everyone.
That's why we just got to share the message and just show people. What do you say? Be the inspiration the world needs to see.
That's my favorite
That
line.
is.
Be the inspiration the world needs
Well,
to
they're
see.
doing it because we're down to, excuse me, drum roll. Wait, I don't have a drum roll. 1,692 pounds.
Holy shnikes. 1,692
yeah,
pounds.
yep. Excuse me. Yeah.
See what I mean?
another 22 pounds.
Unstoppable. Unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
Slaying May. We're coming in strong. And it's gonna go up and higher.
Up and higher, that number.
Get
yeah.
in here. Get in here. We're going to show you the love. Like the love this weekend, the love in that Saturday support. It was the biggest Saturday support group
I'm telling
ever.
you, those are great.
And what I love is people coming in here and just saying, I couldn't do it without you guys. Like they're so excited to see everybody and to hear real people do real life things that, well, I'll start on Monday, or it's just too busy right now. I can't do it, or I have too much going on. this is the group of people that are changing that psychology, that brain of I can't to, oh, well, this is
I'm
just
doing
my
it.
life. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is just my life.
It's just what I do.
And that's inspiring.
It is super inspiring. It's
They
awesome.
don't stop. I taught them how to not stop. Remember, you know what I just thought about?
Seriously.
Do you remember that time? Speaking of not stopping, when I think of unstoppable, I don't know why I always think of that time we were out on our first bike ride
Oh, man.
with the family.
Come on, guys. Let's go this
We
way.
went out to the
This
bike
is a
shop.
shortcut.
We'll give a shout out to our bike shop too,
Oh, yeah.
Antioch Cyclery. We love Rick and the guys at Antioch
Yeah.
Cyclery. They don't even know we're doing a podcast or exist, but we love them, and
They know we
we've
exist, but not our podcast.
yeah,
yet.
we send so many people over there. They have the
Yeah.
greatest service for cycling in the area. I would drive days just to get Rick to help me with my bike. So we hear from a friend, go get some bikes. You know, I've already been plowing away on my recumbent bike. My brain is already in unstoppable mode because I've been practicing all the things that I'm coaching everybody to do. I put a picture up of what I wanted to see myself do.
You need a goal.
By the way, I put a picture up on the recumbent bike. I didn't get on it after I lost 100 pounds. I got on it like 3 months in. It was like now that I started getting on the bike, and then I started getting on it every day. And I sucked at it in the beginning. I could barely move. You know what I
No,
mean? It was
really, no.
100 pounds ago.
I know.
Could barely pedal. But those pedaling days went from, John, I did 5 minutes. See that dopamine, how I did it? John, I did 5 minutes. Then it was 10 minutes. Then it was 15 minutes. And those increments were big wins.
I remember I was like, well, you've had it a year now, and I'm beeping through the things, and like, you went 2,000 miles.
That's right.
And we both fell down. Like,
I was like, that's impossible that happened.
like, wow.
So I started getting on the bike every day. And then I completely lost what I was saying.
Well, and then I handed weights to you, and you just were crushing it. Like, I'm just doing it.
Oh,
I'm doing it. You're not looking
remember.
back. You got to be the inspiration. You're
I
like,
remember we went out and got real bikes.
Yeah, we did.
We went and got
Antioch
bikes.
Cyclery.
And we went and bought bikes for everybody in the family. And I was like, I just want to take the whole family out on a bike ride. We got everybody new bikes. And we didn't think about where we were going.
No.
Typical me. See how this all starts? I didn't think about where Plantspiration was going. I just wanted it to go.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think about where the podcast was going. I just wanted it to go.
Yeah.
The weight loss, I didn't say, I'm going to lose 100
Didn't
pounds.
have a perfect plan, but you
I just
did
went.
it, just started.
So if you're listening and you see the pattern that I'm talking about, it's called just start slaying it.
Yeah.
Just start slaying it. So we go out on this bike ride. And it was one of those days where it felt like it was going to be 80, but once you got out there, it was like 50.
Yeah, wow.
So we were not dressed appropriately for this. And we go out on one side of the subdivision.
Yeah.
And we're like, we ended up riding down like,
Oh, look there's a trail right there, and then like,
We
you
were
get
in the
going. It's
ditch.
like there's no trail here.
we
This
were in the
is-
ditch for probably
It's
a
like a
half a
drainage
mile.
ditch. Yeah.
The kids are like swearing at us, like, F this, you guys suck. We don't know what we're doing. And little do we know there's a trail, like,
We just went out the wrong end of the subdivision. That's all.
they never rode bikes after that.
Yeah,
But we started taking off.
we'll say that.
But once we got it down and once we went out there on the trail, it just got easier and easier and easier. And that
Yeah.
is exactly like that neural pathway. That whole neuroscience stuff I've been all
I
over.
know. Well,
can't
we
shut
just
up.
went out and did it. That's all. And
We're
no
doers.
matter how hard it was, yeah. Don't get me in that movie. I thought about that the other day.
Which movie?
Don't be a don'ter. Do be a doer. I don't know.
What was that one called?
It was so messed up. They did some messed up things.
It was a true story. It was based on a true story.
Yeah, but the message was there. They just didn't really have a good
Marky
plan.
Mark was in
but-
it. Hold on. Marky Mark was in it.
And
The
The
Rock
Rock.
was in it. It was called, was it like Hard Times or?
It was just I don't know, but it was crazy. Anyways,
I'm going to think of the
do
name of it.
Be a doer.
Yeah, that's what it was
Don't
about.
be a don'ter.
And you know what? This is good. What made you think about it?
Just that, because we're doers.
We're doers,
You
but
have to.
they manifested and created a bad thing with their.
Oh yeah. What they did was
They were
it's still-
determined
yeah. They
to do
used
something bad.
the proper milestones, but the project they were working on was terrible.
They used the proper
For
milestones.
murder.
They made a plan.
Yeah.
They made a plan. They stuck to it. They hyped themselves up. They
Yeah.
constantly were talking about their goal. Like, when we do this, we're going to come out on top. Man, what was that called?
It was not.
I have to look it
Yeah,
up.
it wasn't. Sheesh.
Oh, it was
Anyway,
called like The Hard Times.
It was not good. It was.
Hold on a second. Keep going, John. Don't let him down.
I mean, it was
Keep
a
talking.
great. It was stupid.
Well, who was in it? The
Marky
Rock?
Mark and The Rock. Yeah, yeah. You just put them two in there, and I think that was like the only.
Pain and Gain.
Yeah.
It was called Pain and Gain. It was, and then when I was like, "This is a true story," they made that happen, and we kept saying the whole time, like, if they would have just used all this on good, they would have done something good.
I know.
Sometimes people focus on the wrong things. What kind of notes you got? Look at you guys.
The
We have
amount of
notes all over.
trouble. I mean, the amount of stuff that crooks go through. The amount of effort. I mean, just.
People get dopamine from it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I guess.
we just have to organize where we want to use the dopamine hits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not for robbing a bank. That's not a good plan.
Our brains love dopamine, and they love the idea of transformation.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So that's how people want to start doing it, but we just want to make it stick. Flip the switch. Meal plans. We were back to talk. What were you saying over here?
I'm just thinking about still the just doing it. The Monday, I'll start on Monday. I'll freaking.
It's the biggest thing.
I mean, it's the rewiring the brain is the big thing, because I'm thinking about looking over your shoulder while you're doing your neuroscience brain certification stuff.
I just keep the whole time I was doing this thing, I was like, this is how I've been using it at Plantspiration.
Yeah.
Like, this is, now I can explain in even better terms why this is working, why everybody, like I had just talked about, the complaining, this is a big deal. And we were complainers, like you said, just complaining about all kinds of stuff. Complaining can wreck everything for us. Watching the news, being around negative people.
Life.
It was just what we did. It's how we grew. It's just how we
then
learned.
You get on the phone with a different friend,
You start
and
complaining
start
some
bitching
more.
about the whole thing again. And
When
we
you
just but you get energized from that. How screwed up is that, right?
It is kind of a thing. So
It's a trap.
what it is you strengthen the wrong neural pathways when you start complaining. So that's why you keep going back to that same thing, those same thoughts, that same pattern, that same way. I can't start because I got so much going on. That's that whole, I can't.
Yeah, I used to think like that. I rewired it. I just realized, thank you.
Are you really having that moment right now?
No, seriously, yeah, because I'm like,
Elaborate.
whenever we're doing something now, it's like, I don't even think about not doing it or we can't.
Holy.
I don't know. I just don't even think about that.
I used to say a certain thing about you. I would be like,
Oh,
you're
really?
always.
Behind my back?
No. Okay. Like that. No, right in front of you. I would tell you is what I mean. I would always say, like, man, why are you always.
Oh, I was Mr. No Man.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
not like you anymore. So the fact that you see that, what do you notice different?
Just a more positive outlook, I think, really,
100%.
on everything. Because we can do whatever we're going to put your mind to.
Oh my gosh. Wait a minute.
Oh,
Everybody could be listening to you say this and you just like blew over it.
what? I'm just doing me now.
But
It's
for
just
real.
normal.
I mean, people are hearing me talking about we're riding our bikes all over the place. We're eating plants all over the place. We're starting businesses. We're doing a podcast. This is not who we were before. You would have said no. It would never happen.
Yeah.
To the bike, to the everything. Some of it you did. But I was unstoppable with, I'm going to keep going and keep learning these new habits and changing the way that we stopped complaining. You know what I mean? Complaining, I would tell you, it would trigger stress. It would make our stress worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're spiking adrenaline. You're spiking cortisol. It's lowering our ability to make decisions. I started telling you all this stuff. Now I'm understanding, as I was learning lifestyle medicine coaching and, stress management and better sleep and complaining. I wanted to let everybody know also, like I always want to tell everybody, like, it's not your fault. So it's not your fault if you're complaining. It's
Right. No
just,
doubt.
we learn how to do that. Complaining hijacks the prefrontal cortex of your brain.
Well, you don't
So
want to do
look
that.
at how many people, and it's not just complaining, it's the news, it's negative
Oh,
people.
taking all that in. Yeah. Holy
Taking
cow.
all that in is like taking, oh, whoa, it's like this. It's like taking over your command center, the planning part of your brain.
Wow.
Okay, so you're watching, we turned the news off right away in the beginning too, but I didn't realize how powerful
Oh,
that
yeah.
was.
It just didn't make me feel good.
Well, I didn't want to see the commercials, is what I always start off with. Like, I was like, the kids would leave
Yeah.
for school, and that channel still stayed on all day long. The same news, the same commercials, the
Sheesh.
same pharmaceutical, what do I call them? The
Try-
designer drugs.
Yeah.
It was all day long. And there was like 3 days into this, I was like, this has got to stop.
Yeah. And all the drive-through food.
My brain wanted to go down a new road.
Yeah.
My brain wanted to be happy, wanted to be like stay focused, because I didn't know what was going to happen. I just wanted to eat plants. I wanted to just
Yeah.
do this. And I had the society out here. I had the news talking about all this other horrible stuff.
Yeah.
I had friends still talking about the same things that were keeping me stuck. You know what I mean? But I didn't know. I'm not blaming anybody.
Well, no doubt.
But when you're hanging out in that place, it hijacks that command center, and it makes sense. I had to unplug and say, enough of this, enough of this, enough of this, because I was so determined with this new path I wanted to go down. So if you're listening right now and you're wondering what's keeping you stuck on that same path, it's the way that you're talking to yourself.
Yeah. Well, for
It's
sure.
the way that you're talking to yourself. The I can't, or I've got too much to do, or I'm too busy, or I've got this going on. We've all been there.
Yeah.
You had your week.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Everything is
just-
going on, and you come
Yeah,
in,
there
you're
was-
happier than him.
Yeah. There was a ton of appointments and different things and just running around like crazy.
We are not like getting good news every day, you guys.
No.
We just focus on the good
great.
news. And that was part of what we do differently. And that's why we're so excited when we're in class doing our stuff. We also missed class last week, which was like, man, we missed that dopamine.
Yeah. It's all right.
Also, there we go. See how you are? It's all right.
Yeah, we're going to crush this week.
Here's something that a lot of people loved hearing about. Do you know what I'm going to say? What are you thinking?
No, I'm
I
just
wanna
thinking about
know.
the class for this week.
Go
It's
on. I want
coming
to
up.
hear this.
It's like for traveling, I think. Or no, this is the kids' class this week.
I love this.
This is going to be great.
This is going to be great. We'll get to that in 1 second. Complaining shrinks the hippocampus. And the hippocampus is where that neurogenesis goes on, that we can grow and we can change and we have neuroplasticity in our brain. But if we staying complaining, watching that same station with that same stuff coming out, with that same negative feed, you are shrinking your ability to make change.
Oh, man.
Do you notice the change? Like, you don't listen to that stuff anymore.
No, I don't.
The hippocampus is like the key to memory, the key to thinking, emotional resilience, the thinking positive part, like that's
Yeah,
the
most
part.
certainly.
And I kind of learned that early on in life. Like, that's why that's so strong for me, because that was my cope mechanism.
Yeah, that was your out.
Always. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to just think of what's next. Like, I'm going to do something next and look at all the stuff I've already gone through. So that's
positive.
how I did it. It was basically like, look at all the I've been through. I got this.
Yeah.
So I started saying those kinds of things to myself. And I want everybody to say that, because if you're here, you went through a lot of stuff to get here.
You definitely.
That's
you
what
need
I
to-
mean.
You need to really, your life is right there.
Focus
Like,
on
take it.
the wins, the things you're
Yeah.
doing good. If you're listening to this right now and you're learning how to make better decisions, how to get healthier, how to make healthier choices, you're picking up something that's improving your quality of life. And you know my favorite saying, if it doesn't evolve you,
Yeah.
it doesn't involve you.
That's
so
right.
we love that. So
I think it's amazing. I feel like I'm pumped up now. I got like a
About
free
what?
coaching session. This is amazing.
is that how you feel?
Yeah, this is awesome.
You're not usually good at me giving any advice.
No, but it's fine. This is great
And
because
here it's
everybody
okay?
else hears it, so they can, do good too.
Not everybody.
Just be a doer.
Not everybody wants to be a doer, but I'm glad that you're doing it. I mean, it's unstoppable isn't magic, okay? It's It isn't about having more time. It's not about having more discipline or motivation. It's about how you think, what you believe, how you act, especially when life is not Instagram pretty.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? That's true unstoppable.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, a lot of it is, I'm thinking about the analysis paralysis and different things. And I'll
Everybody,
start on Monday and, I need 13 recipes.
we
And
all do it.
I mean, we didn't need recipes before,
We never
like,
pulled one single recipe, by the way, while we're talking about this. We never pulled one single recipe. Well, hold on, I take it back. We did pull one for so we started in January, and I absolutely have the recipe from Easter.
Easter, yeah, we made.
Some tempeh glazed, mushroomy something. But right away the kids were like, forget this.
Yeah,
We're
it's
gonna
too
cook.
much.
And they started cooking.
It was
is what
great.
it
It
was.
was great, yeah. Watch the Chopped shows and stuff or whatever. And then
Isabel always was watching the cooking shows. And I'd be like,
I'm like, what are you watching that for, man? They're cooking animals. He's like, I'm getting ideas.
yeah.
She's in there with all the seasonings.
She made the famous Plantspiration. Now everybody just calls them Izzy burgers. So if you guys haven't tried Isabel's famous burgers, they originated in 2013 because we were having a big party. And at this point, we didn't say like, hey, we're going vegan. We're not eating animals. It wasn't there.
Right.
Like I supported it and I was like, okay, I get it. But that all came like unintentionally later when you get more aligned and you start feeling better and you have these moments that we'll talk about a whole nother day. Has anybody had that moment, by the way?
I'm sure.
Anybody had that moment where all of a sudden you're just along eating healthy and you are standing next to the meat counter and all of a sudden it hits you?
Yeah, I did.
Have we talked about that?
That was not cool.
We talked about that.
That wasn't cool at all. Yeah,
Anyway.
it gets emotional, when you think about everything the animals have gone through.
It's something that we didn't expect to impact us, but once the blinders were off and once we started realizing like, wow, that does not have to happen. We've been conditioned to believe it has to happen. We've been told it has to happen, and society that's why everybody gets so freaked out when you say, like we watched everybody come through the house this week, we would say we don't eat animal and like right away this unintentional defense mechanism comes up like, well, I can't give up that. And we know now that's not their fault. That's all of our initial reaction. That's what we do.
It is.
It's all we know.
I mean, you're just gonna you always got to defend your
beliefs.
Your beliefs.
It's your belief systems. And you don't want to change because that's uncomfortable to say, I'm going to do something everybody isn't doing.
Yeah. Well, your beliefs, you already think like that's it. There's nothing different. Like this is how it is.
That's the problem.
Yeah. This almost connects to the Matrix episode last week.
It still is, but you're right. It is exactly that. And it's uncomfortable to have to say, I have to do something different in order to align with this belief. So that's where people get stuck too. You know what I mean? So here I'm telling them, and I explained this on Saturday, wasn't it? How many of you guys know how to juggle?
Oh, right. Yeah, that was good.
How many of you guys know how to juggle? Everybody who knows how to juggle had to practice.
Oh, yeah.
To do it. But I guarantee you, whoa, turn this back on. What
it's
did I do?
on, it's on.
I guarantee you, everybody, I gotta
Talking
stop.
like an Italian.
Hey, how you doing? Everybody who juggles, everybody here listening could absolutely learn how to juggle. They would have to take some lessons. Yeah. And this is what this is all about, is what we've learned. You've got to practice how to get this down. And it doesn't have to be 100%. That's enough. I got a text from somebody and, they're concerned like they can't be a part of this because they're not 100%. And I was like, what? This is about learning how to eat properly and then learning how to incorporate it into your life. Stress management, making sure you have support. I'm going to talk about good sleep. I'm going to talk about exercise. This is about actually learning how to get healthy. Not just talking about it,
right?
But doing it. Did that put you to sleep?
No, the heaters put me to sleep.
My
I'm telling you, I'm
gosh.
roasting here.
Do you think we've got time for a bike ride?
Dry it out.
I just want to mention, thank you so much to everybody for making this happen. We're 6 months in. We could not be more excited to know that 26,348 followers are listening to us talk about preventing and reversing disease and actually people doing it.
That's right. You guys are crushing it.
1,690
Two.
pounds. That's look at what people are doing over here at Plantspiration.
That's
I don't
awesome.
I haven't had time to get up testimony reels. I'm trying to like make sure my schedule is working out. You know, I am running the nonprofit over
Well,
here.
yeah. I mean, we were right at the point this Saturday. Support group was like, you know what? Pretty soon we're going to need like 2 different meetings. You only have to
We
like,
absolutely are
it
gonna.
gets filled up, and I want to make sure everybody has time to talk.
It's important that people are heard.
Yeah.
It's important that people are seen. And
This is their safe space, our safe space to go over and talk about things that nobody's talking about out there.
Nobody.
The support is amazing. People are sharing
all
true
diseases.
things, and they're getting it off of their plate and making more room for plants.
Wow, that was beautiful. Actually, give me some love.
Love
This is
that.
what's going on, and it's growing and it's spreading, and that's what we need more of this. This is what I mean. We're going to need some more donors. I need a fundraiser, a campaign manager. We're working on that right now. We're trying to, as we grow, just like everybody's watching with the podcast, I always have to go back and reassess. You know, I'm learning how to be a CEO, an entrepreneur, you know, better and better each day.
But we're just looking to get more and more education, more information, more tools to bring back to the community.
Well, we're slaying it.
Yeah, we are.
And it's May, and we've got a lot of slaying for May. I'm bringing in more new tools, you know, more positive reinforcement, more. These guys are actually, you know, I love saying this. I'm going to say, do I have time?
We have time for anything.
I always hear from people, they love the example I give about going to the gym.
Oh, do it.
Okay, so Plantspiration is like the gym to getting healthy. So if you want to get healthy, you're going to have to join the Plantspiration gym. We have all the machines there, the machines that work on neuroplasticity, the machines that work on how to actually eat healthy, you know, how to sleep better, how to have social support. We've got all those machines, leg machines, back machines, arm machines. And you can join the gym like a lot of people do and then never show up. Or you could go into the gym and you could watch everybody work out. Or
you can crush it.
You can crush it because there's so much interaction. I'm live every day. We're live almost every day in Plantspiration because we're living this life right here with you.
Yeah, exactly.
We're being busy. We're going through real life stuff that sucks sometimes. We're going through good stuff, bad stuff, but we still want to show people this is how to be unstoppable when we've got all this stuff going.
Yeah, life has got to be like something that you're doing, not something that's happening to you.
Ooh, I like that.
You know what I mean?
That's true. So I want everybody to get out there doing it, eating their plants off. This week we have an incredible class. It's one of the most requested classes. Did I say that right? Requested?
Yeah.
I thought I had a tongue twister there. It's on whole food plant-based kids, and we did one of these one time in person, and it was like we're gonna need a place.
Yeah, this is gonna be great.
It's whole food plant-based for kids. We're gonna be making some no pigs in a blanket. I'm using crescent rolls.
That's right. No pickies in a blanket.
I'm using crescent rolls because if this gets kids to eat more carrots, which they won't know, and we're going to talk about how to approach it, how to bring it. John's actually quite the expert with, approaching
the recipes.
You were always great with the kids. Like, try this out. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
Well, not like, here, this is vegan. You might not like it.
Oh my gosh. We're going to not let you do that, you guys. We're going to talk about how to actually bring these really easy meals in for kids, getting them eating more plants off. We're doing mini tacos. We're doing my favorite sherbet pops. Can't wait to make those.
Yes.
And we're going to be doing some chickpea nuggets because I had to have nuggets in the beginning.
I know. I can't wait.
So we're bringing in every week
I need
the
to make
easiest
those,
foods.
to retweak the recipe, make sure it's right on.
Okay. Making sure.
Yeah.
We love what we do. We love what we do.
Heck yeah.
What do you got planned for this week, John? Here's what I'm going to ask everybody. What is something that you want to accomplish this week? Write it down, everybody. Write down what you want to accomplish. Put it in the chat. Yeah. What is your goal that you want to accomplish this week?
Just keep crushing them with the plants and just kick life in the face if it's coming at you sideways.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say. Write down exactly what you want to have happen. And when you fire it, you wire it. You know what I mean? You make it happen. So I want to just keep crushing it, like you said, consistent. Actually, it's May. We're going to slay.
We're going to slay for May and all damn day.
There we go. Are we ready to get out of here?
Yeah, I'm
No more
hungry.
questions. We're hungry. We want to eat our plants off, and that's what we want you guys to do. Thanks for joining us this week while we unplugged and talk about our life in the fast lane.
That's
Love you
right.
guys so much. Thanks for tuning into episode 26. We're slaying it. Now slay it with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share.
Share,
We love you
yeah.
guys. Woo!
Woo.